Well, hello everyone. Welcome into the live stream right now, an extreme live stream right now that we are going to be paying attention to closely here, as we are expecting some possible hurricane force winds with this. So we're going to be staying tuned right now. We have Dallas, you guys are going to be in this threat here. Wichita Falls, you guys, Oklahoma City, already getting through those thunderstorms as of right now, but we are going to be paying attention to these storms. So welcome into the live stream right now. If you do have any questions, make sure to leave it down in the chat below. I will try to answer as many questions as I possibly can. We're going to just get into the severe weather threat here. We're going to talk about the threat here pretty shortly. We want to make sure that everyone is prepared for the worst. So let's start heading into some of these severe thunderstorm warnings here. But we actually have a new tornado warning that was issued not too long ago. So let's see here. So we have a radar indicated tornado, golf ball sized hail with this specific storm. You can see a very big storm off down over here to the northwest. We'll be continuing to move down here, and let's see if we can go to the velocity, if there's any significant rotation. Not really. You can see that's where that rotation is. If we kind of zoom in here, let's see, maybe by Hickory Road and Peachtree Road, that seems like where that rotation possibly can be, but there's no indication of a tornado on the ground as of right now, and let's hope that that stays that way. I do want to bring up, though, even though we don't have a massive tornado threat today, we have a massive wind threat, with winds possibly reaching over hurricane force as what the National Weather Service put out today, putting that in a PDS severe thunderstorm watch. So we're going to want to keep an eye on that very, very closely here. Let's head to one of the most right now. Yeah, here's a severe thunderstorm warning down here. You can definitely see this is a major severe thunderstorm warning right now. You can, wow, this is pretty big here. So you can see 4 inches in diameter with a softball sized hail. That is pretty destructive. Due to obviously the hail being softball sized and 90-mile-an-hour winds. Very, very dangerous storm. Will be moving down to the southeast here, and you can see that blue that popped up. See if I can get a better color here. That blue that popped up, that was that large hail, the softball sized hail. That is 90-mile-an-hour winds. So we'll get back to that. That is for Fisher, Texas and Jones, Texas. Very, very PDS severe thunderstorm warning right now for your area. Going for Grady, Oklahoma, Cleveland, Oklahoma, Canadian, Oklahoma, McLean, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma here. This does include the Norman, Oklahoma area and parts of the Oklahoma City metro area. We can see very, very long line of thunderstorms. That is going to be embedded with some of the 70-mile-an-hour winds and what we could be seeing with the considerable threat here with this specific severe warned storm here. So we're going to keep an eye out on that very closely to exactly see. Let's see, I'm trying to pull up other stuff here as well, but very, very major storm as of right now. Going to be moving just south of the Oklahoma City. Seeing what I can do. Let's see. All right. Making some adjustments to the stream. Well, it looks like we have a brand new tornado warning right now that we want to. Let's see if we can get back to. We have 2 tornado warnings right now active. Let's see where this new tornado warning is, and there it is for this major storm that we just looked at here. Tennis ball sized hail. So it seems like the hail has definitely weakened a little bit here. But we're seeing the possibility, obviously, here for Still, possible tornado as we're watching it closely. Radar indicated 37 minutes remaining with this tornado warning here. We can see velocity signature. What are we going to look at? Very, very large winds are on this blue area. That's pushing around 80-mile-an-hour winds, possibly. The rotation, a little bit of areas that we could be paying attention to with the rotation. This is an area right here. This could be something right here to pay attention to with that rotation. But tornado warning now issued for that, and that is the destructive severe thunderstorm warning as of right now. So we want to keep an eye out, obviously, on these storms very closely. Storm off to the south, considerable threat, 70-mile-an-hour winds there. The winds really will start to pick up as we get closer and a little bit more into the night. We're going to be seeing these storms really start to ramp up here. We have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued here. Let's go back. Let's go to this destructive storm down here right now. Large apple-sized hail is with this storm, specifically destructive for the damage threat due to the 80-mile-an-hour winds that are going through this zone. We're going to be seeing this. It's going to be going through Kulupa Mountain, Cupola Mountain. There you go. Cupola Mountain here. Very, very large storm going to be moving off, and you can see that blue. That is some major hail that was there, and that is something that we don't see very often with that large hail. And also, if you guys have any places that you would like me to look at, just leave it down in the chat below, and I will show you guys, maybe talk about your guys' city and the forecast for you guys. Just leave it in the chat below. But very, very dangerous storms are going to be continuing here. Dallas, you guys are going to be paying attention to some of these storms here probably in the next couple of hours. You guys are going to be seeing, these storms. Here's Dallas and Fort Worth. Those storms are off to your northwest. Let's actually take a look here at the future radar and see exactly what we could be looking at over here for the next couple hours for them and what time we could be seeing these storms starting to arrive. So Dallas, this could be on your doorstep around 11 p.m. here. This could be on your doorstep where we're going to be seeing some of these storms. I think that's Eastern time, so 10 Central time. We're going to be seeing these storms just right on your doorstep, and we're going to be seeing that, and we're going to be watching these major storms move through the Dallas and Fort Worth area. So we're going to keep an eye out on that very, very closely as well. As that could be a very, very major issue later on in the future here. Very, very big concerns. Let's head back over to this destructive storm here with the tornado warn storm now. So it is a tornado warn storm. We're going to be keeping an eye on this one very closely here. You can see Hamlin, you guys are in this severe thunderstorm warning with 80-mile-an-hour winds going kind of just off to your west. So that's some good news right there for if you live in Hamlin. You guys are still getting some pretty big wind, but right now it's kind of this general storm that's bringing that 90-mile-an-hour wind with the tennis ball size or the softball sized hail, sorry, and that will be continuing to move off down to the southeast. If we take a look here at the velocity signature, all this blue right here is very, very large wind, and let's actually see if we can read this wind and see. Yeah, you can see 92 mile an hour in some of these spots here with this storm. So very, very dangerous situation if you live in the path of this storm here. I'm not seeing any too clear of rotation. Maybe something, right in this general area. Definitely maybe some green and reds meeting in that general area as well. But winds are continuing to ramp up with this storm, and this will eventually make its way down to the southeast. And that is what we are looking at and worried about here for the Texas region here when it comes down, especially to Fort Worth and Dallas. We could be seeing some possibility for some pretty big, wind, obviously. As we're already seeing that. So let's take a look right now here once again. Fort Worth, Dallas, you guys will be getting these storms pretty soon here, probably in the next couple of hours. This is 1 a.m. Eastern time, so 12 Central. Very large thunderstorm lines going to be coming through the northeastern Texas part, going through the western part of Texas here. That's including Dallas, Fort Worth. You guys will be in this. Very, very large storms. You can see these little future radar of blue areas. That is very major hail and major wind that could be moving through the city here overnight. So definitely be making sure you have a way to get warnings on your phone. The one thing I will say, even though it might not seem like you guys are that you guys are going, to see, you might not be under a tornado warning, but severe thunderstorm warnings, you definitely want to treat like a tornado warning because of how fast and how strong these winds are going to be. So let's keep an eye out, obviously, on some of these storms right now. We're going to keep an eye out on these storms. Very major storms currently continuing on with 2 tornado warnings active at this time. We're going to be continuing to pay attention to some of these storms just really start to ramp up over here over the next couple of hours. We're going to see some of these storms start to ramp up, and especially as it starts to approach the Fort Worth and Dallas region. Remember, if you guys do have any places that you would like me to look at or go anywhere on the map, I will go ahead, as long as you guys just put it in the chat below. So let's get back to some of these severe thunderstorm warnings as of right now. We have the Norman one that we could see currently. Majority of these storms have stayed on the outskirts here of Norman, Oklahoma, which is great news. You can see the University of Oklahoma is just right out of that. Moore and Oklahoma City. You guys have really dodged a bullet here with these storms. Not moving very quick, and that's why we're going to be starting to see some of these flash flood warnings starting to pop up here, because these storms are not moving so quickly. We have this flash flood warning radar indicated. We're just not seeing very, very big, major storms just moving quick. These are storms that are sticking around for a little longer than they should, but that's what's going to bring the possibility for maybe some flash flood warnings to also be issued. All right, let's see. So we have no severe thunderstorm warning down here with this specific storm. Let's head to this one right here. This is for Haskell area. You guys are under the severe thunderstorm warning with a considerable threat here for that damage threat. You can see 70-mile-an-hour winds continuing on with the golf ball sized hail that is 1.75 inches in diameter. Very large storm going to be continuing to move through Throckmorton here. You guys are going to be paying attention to this storm very closely here, as Haskell, you guys are already going through this storm. Who's next in the path here? Woodston, you guys are going to be in this path, as well as Breckenridge in the future here, and Newcastle. You guys will be getting some pretty big storms as well, and we're going to be seeing this. All that is going to be a lot of lightning, a lot of severe winds that are going to be coming through. So let's make sure that we are getting inside and into a safe place quickly here, and you can see very, very large winds continuing on in this general area right here. We'll be pushing down to the southeast. That blue is reaching up into parts of 60, 70, 80 mile an hour winds there, maybe in parts of 90 miles an hour. So tornado warning still continues on for this area right here. You can see this does include Roby. This is just south of Hamlin. You can see very, very dangerous storm with some large hail is still in there. And here's probably that main rotation right over here. I would say our main rotation kind of more on the northern part, just over County Road 284 and County Road 281. And this is just down to the southeast of McCauley. So you guys are going to be paying attention to that. I don't think we have any debris in that general area here. No seeing any clear sign of debris, but that storm will be continuing to move off down to the southeast as well, so we're going to keep an eye on that very closely as well. Severe thunderstorm warning over here. We're continuing to pay attention to this one. This is, I think this one, brand new severe thunderstorm warning. This one's just issued. Newcastle, Graham, and Breckenridge, you guys are going to be getting prepared for the storm right now. You guys have 57 minutes left of this severe thunderstorm warning, with a major wind threat going to be coming your way, as well as hail, not moving very quick as we've been saying, but will be making its way over here. And let's see how fast this storm is actually moving. Let's see, it's moving southeast at 45, so not a terrible speed, but doesn't look like it on radar as much. So make sure, if you are in Breckenridge, Newcastle, Graham, take cover immediately, head inside. If you are driving, please be making sure you are staying cautious right now. Very, very major storm right there. heading to your guys' way over here. More of the northern part is not any too major of threats of the major winds. The major winds are kind of more down here on the southern part of some of these storms, and we're kind of seeing that's where we're seeing majority of those severe thunderstorm warnings. And then the tornado warnings, obviously, we still can't rule out that tornado threat, even though we're not seeing a major tornado threat, but we're still continuing to pay attention to it. And let's go up to this tornado warning right up here. In Ardmore, you guys are paying attention to this tornado warning currently with some pretty big major winds. Right there, you could see some possible rotation, probably sitting in kind of just near the city here. You guys need to be paying attention to this storm very, very closely here. All right, let's get back into some of these storms right now. Wanting to, let's get these warnings out right now. We have a brand new severe thunderstorm watch that has now just been issued. So let's get into that really quickly here. A brand new severe thunderstorm watch. It's a PDS severe thunderstorm watch. So let's get through that. Right here, severe thunderstorm watch currently continuing. Let's see if we can actually pull that up really quick. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Let's see. So the National Weather Service severe thunderstorm watch, we can see right here. There it is. So the National Weather Service has now issued a brand new severe thunderstorm watch here, and we'll get to that new tornado warning here in a second. You can definitely see right here, very, very PDS tornado watch right now. This is a very major situation with this. So let's take a look at kind of what we're looking at with the National Weather Service. A few tornadoes are possible, and we're obviously seeing some of those tornado warnings being issued, and we're starting to see a little bit more uptick with that. I'm not saying it's going to be a major issue, though, and I don't think it's going to be a major issue. Scattered hail, likely up to apple-sized hail in this general area here, with wind gust up to possibly 100 mile an hour. That is over hurricane force there. 10 million people are in the population here, according to the National Weather Service. This does include Dallas, Waco, you guys. This does include McKinney, Fort Worth as well. You guys are being, we need to pay attention to that one very closely just in case. If you live in any of these areas, let's make sure we're keeping an eye out, obviously, on this and what we're going to be watching with the weather. Let's get to this tornado warning right now. Brand new tornado warning that has now just been issued here. This storm right here for Durant, you guys are under a brand new tornado warning. Golf ball sized hail right now is currently you know, underway with you guys. A rotation sitting in around right in this region over here by just Pickwick and Colbert. You guys are under this tornado warning right now as the storm will be continuing to move down to the southeast, and we're going to see that kind of continue on as well. You can see with this probably the rotation kind of sitting over right over here just north of Pickwick and Colbert as well. So let's make sure we're keeping an eye on that. If you live in that area, please take cover immediately right now. So let's see if we have any major severe thunderstorms right now. Destructive storm right here. So down here, Albine, you guys need to be taking cover immediately right now. Right now, major storm right now heading through the big city here in Texas. We have our first storm that's going to be heading in to a major city and major populated area right now that will be approaching very, very soon here with the winds reaching up to 80 mile an hour. So make sure if you are in this area, you are taking cover immediately right now, as we're starting to see obviously that severe thunderstorm warning has been issued and will be continuing on for the next 51 minutes, as well as this tornado warning that is also continuing. And if we take a look here at the velocity signature, we kind of can see very large amount of wind is going to be going through this general area. We can see all that blue reaching over into 80, possibly even 90 mile an hour winds in this certain areas here. No exactly clear rotation, I would say. Maybe something kind of sitting in right here in the middle, but something to pay attention to, as this could possibly be heading towards the city. This tornado warned storm could be heading towards the city here. So now we have those 4 tornado warnings now active. Let's get to this one, a brand new tornado warning right now for Caddo. You guys are under this tornado warning right now. Let's see here for the velocity signature. This is for Attica, Oklahoma, and Bryan, Oklahoma. Very nice rotation sitting right here on that. It's just probably southwest of Caddo, west of Caddo, north of Cobb. This will be pushing off down to the southeast as well, and we're going to be seeing something. Hasn't been reported, no tornado on the ground there. We'll keep an eye on that very closely. No tornado has been reported. I have not seen any tornado reports today. I haven't seen any reports of any major tornado on the ground or anything like that. So we're just going to keep an eye out obviously on these storms very closely here, because we're expecting some major winds, and I think that's something that we do need to keep an eye out on. So even if you are in this severe weather threat and you're not under a tornado warning, but you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, treat it as a tornado warning because of how strong these winds are going to be. And specifically for this storm right here, I mean, this storm is going to be heading through a major populated area here and bringing in that strong winds that will be arriving right here, right at the front. That will come down, and that will cause some major power outages, possibly. Could possibly be an issue. And let's actually see if we actually have any power outages. Not any major power outages as of right now. We do have some in Hardman County here, as well as Childress County. We're starting to see some of those power outages starting to come up. King County here. A couple power outages, probably most likely from these major storms and the major winds that we've been watching very closely. So that's something we're going to keep an eye on very, very closely. So let's just keeping an eye on some of these storms, major storms. Let's actually head back to the future radar here and see kind of what we're looking at. Oh, that's a little too quick there. So let's see what the future radar is looking at. So we can obviously see major storms going to be continuing to kind of form here in more of a line shape. We're going to be seeing these storms head through the Dallas-Fort Worth area here around 1 a.m. Eastern, so 12 Central. Very large storms, and you can see these little blue spots here. That is some major hail that the radar could possibly be paying attention to very closely. And then obviously with this big front here, this will be strong winds that go through the Dallas and Fort Worth area here later tonight. So this will be an overnight storm, so this is going to be very, very dangerous of a storm. So please be making sure if you live in the Dallas and Fort Worth area, you are taking precautions and you are going to be heading inside and taking cover. This is going to be a storm you do not want to mess around with. Very, very dangerous storm could possibly be here. So if you do have any questions, make sure to leave it down in the chat below, or if you want me to head to any of your guys' cities to talk about it and the weather and what we could be expecting, just put it down in the chat below and I will get to it. Yeah, so 3 tornado warnings right there, 1 tornado warning down here. Very, very large storm's going to be continuing to move, down to the southeast here. We're going to keep an eye out very, very closely on this, especially on this severe thunderstorm warning down here. We're going to keep an eye on this storm as this will be approaching very, very big major city here in Texas. Take a look at this tornado warning, see if there's any new changes in the velocity signature. Maybe a little bit of that rotation kind of more at the front of this here. So we're going to keep an eye on that, but you can definitely see the storm is heading through several areas right now. Alright, well, let's see here if we can pull up any storm chasers, actually, because we could be seeing some possible storm chasers tracking some of these storms here. So let me see if I could pull up any storm chasers here watching these storms right now. So we have these storms continuing. Let's see. Don't know why my thing's in all caps here, but we're going to get that. So Freddie McKinney right now, he's tracking a storm. Currently, he's right now going through a storm here. I can see if I can pull it up here right now for you. So right now, Freddie McKinney is going through a storm here. You can watch him on YouTube, get the latest here. So full credit to him. He's in this tornado warned storm right now, or at least he's trying to get ahead of it. You can see his radar is down here and where his location is. Very, very large storm, obviously in front of him right now. It looks like he's driving right now here on I-26. You can see very, very large storm. A lot of lightning is continuing on over here in the western, or in the more of the, I think of the more of the northern part here of his camera, and you can definitely see a lot. And I think that's going to be some dust that's being kicked up right now due to that heavy wind. So we're going to be continuing to pay attention to that. That's a tornado warning as of right now. We're going to keep an eye out on that very, very closely here. Let's see if we have any other storm chasers that are tracking these storms as of right now. We have these other tornado warnings right now. Let's head to this tornado warning up here near just north of Durant, and we'll get down to the one that is for Durant here. Very large destructive storm continuing on. Durant, you guys are under this as well. Radar indicated no tornado has necessarily been on the ground. We haven't had any storm that has touched down on the ground, or tornado that has touched down on the ground, which is some great news on that. But major storm is going to be continuing on as of right now. We're going to see, we're going to keep an eye on the storm chasers here. We're going to keep an eye on, what we're looking at with that. We're going to, oops, there we go. We're going to keep an eye on that. We're going to keep an eye on a lot of things here. We just want to keep it all up and going. So If you have any questions, make sure to leave it down in the chat below here, and make sure if you do know someone that is living in this threat today, make sure you're sending this to them, because this is a dangerous situation. That is why there's a PDS severe thunderstorm watch that has been issued not too long ago from the National Weather Service here for Oklahoma and Texas, mostly Texas, and that does include the Dallas and Fort Worth area. Very major tornado. Radar indicated this tornado right here. This could be heading for Albine. I don't know how to exactly say it, but the storm will be moving down here, down to the southeast. Very major storm will be possibly approaching here pretty soon, bringing in some major winds threat that we could be seeing here currently. Very high winds are obviously being seen with this, so I wouldn't be too worried about a tornado warning being the main concern that could be issued for the city. I'd be more concerned about the major wind. I mean, we're going to be seeing some possible 80 to 90 mile an hour winds possibly, and then some golf ball sized hail going through the city. Yeah, very, very dangerous storms going to be continuing on right now. Let's take a look at Breckenridge. Graham, right now, you guys are under the severe thunderstorm warning as well. You can see, even though the storms aren't even near you right now, you're under the severe thunderstorm warning, and it's due to this storm right here. It's moving very slowly, not moving too quickly, but very, very big winds will be heading your direction here. Let's take a look at the velocity to kind of get into that. Here, 70, 80, possibly even little spots of 90 mile an hour winds are being seen with this storm moving down to the southeast. So if you live in Breckenridge and Graham, you have a little bit of time, but let's make sure that we are keeping an eye on it. Major winds are heading towards your area as well. These are just going to continue heading into Texas here, and we're going to see that kind of continuing on right now. So let's actually head back to the future radar here and see what we can look at. You can currently see here with this the severe thunderstorm threat, obviously, right here, Dallas, Fort Worth. You guys are getting this around 12 a.m. Central Time. You guys will be getting this major severe weather threat here, and the major winds of possible hurricane force in at around 12 a.m. Central Time. So this will be at night. So make sure if you are going to sleep, make sure you have your phone on so you can hear it if a weather alert goes off. And I will say, even if it's just a severe thunderstorm warning, treat it as a tornado warning. Very, very major threat that we're going to be continuing to pay attention to here. And that's just something we're going to have to watch closely because of just how big these storms are expected to get as we head into the overnight hours. Let's see if we can pull up Freddie McKinney right now here, tracking, I believe. Let's see if we can pull him up really quick here on YouTube. So make sure to go check him out if you're really curious on what, these storms are looking like right now. Definitely go check him out as he's tracking some of this. He's in Sweetwater, Texas right now. He's in a tornado warned storm, or at least heading for this tornado warned storm. So full credit obviously to Freddie McKinney, but you can see he is heading to a major storm currently right now. You can see in this general area, very big storm right now for Freddie McKinney that he's heading towards the storm. So very, very big storm that he is getting ready to head into right now. So very, very large storm that he's going to be heading into soon. We want to keep an eye out, obviously, on some of these severe weather threats that we're going to be continuing to watch closely. So please be making sure, if you live in this area, especially if you live in Dallas and all of that, please be making sure you are, watching these storms very closely, because these storms will be approaching later tonight. We have a brand new tornado warning right now, and this does include, once again, the city of Durant. Let's get to this tornado warning right now here. So Durant, Armstrong, you guys are under this tornado warning right now. Very, very possibility here of some rotation, actually kind of just right over here. We have Southeastern Oklahoma State University. You guys are under this tornado warning. Very, very big storm going to be continuing on. Golf ball sized hail and wind. Probably not as strong as of the storms down to the south. Not as strong, but still going to be watching this storm very, very closely here. see about this tornado warning. That one's getting ready to expire. But Durant, you guys need to take cover immediately right now, as you have a tornado warning that is heading through your area and is going to be continuing on throughout your area here for a little bit. So it does look like Freddie McKinney right now is actually going through some pretty big lightning strikes that we're seeing on his camera. Big lightning, very frequent lightning right now that we're watching closely on his camera and what he is watching very closely. But let's get back here into what we're looking at. Well, we have a couple tornado warnings right now. As of right now, Oklahoma City, Norman, you guys are out of this threat here. Flash flood warnings are being issued up here just west of Oklahoma City. But we can definitely see Wichita Falls. You guys are going to be out of that severe weather threat right now. But the biggest question obviously is where are these storms going to be going? Well, if you live in Fort Worth, Dallas, make sure you are paying attention right now to this severe weather threat, because this is heading for your area overnight here. We will be seeing a possibility of something major coming in to the city around 12 a.m. I mean, 12 a.m. Central Time is what the radar is at least telling us. But, I mean, this is absolutely dangerous storm that we're watching. Very 80-mile-an-hour winds right here. And, even Fort Worth. Even the suburbs could be impacted very big from this as well. So I do want to say we do have now, an update to the tornado watch up here in Virginia. I know this is a little off topic here. Washington, D.C., Maryland, you guys are in this as well. The one in Virginia still continues on down here. Richmond, Charlottesville, you guys are under this tornado watch here for the next hour. You guys are under that tornado watch there. There is no tornado watch over here in Texas and Oklahoma, but there is a PDS severe thunderstorm watch with obviously the possibility still continuing on with the threat of major winds. So, severe thunderstorm warning with this specific storm threat should be treated as a tornado warning. Should be treated as a tornado warning. Very major storm that we want to keep an eye out on very closely here. I'm trying to see. Here we go. There we go. So if you guys have any questions, just leave it down in the chat below. If you have any questions, just leave it in the chat below. Yeah, look at that. That is, these storms are going to kind of combine a little bit later here, and that's kind of what we're going to see. Let's see with the HRRR model. I don't know exactly when the next run comes out, like when the next model run comes out here. Right now. That's when it's coming out. All right, well, let's see what we got here with this. You can see the next, we have nothing that's just updating, so we'll have to go back to the 00Z. You can see very big storm is going to be heading through the Dallas, Fort Worth area here around 12 a.m. Central Time for you guys. That will continue to move off down to the southeast here. This will make its way to Shreveport, Longview, Waco as well. This will continue, and then will really start to die down and kind of scatter itself out over here through Texas, Louisiana especially, and parts of Mississippi. So once again, Dallas, Fort Worth, McKinney, around 12 a.m. Central Time is when you guys will see these major thunderstorms that will be heading through your area. Very, very big threat here for that. And we obviously know that the Severe Thunderstorm Watch continues, you know. PDS Severe Thunderstorm Watch, that continues on over here for the next couple of hours here. It's going to be probably going through the overnight hours, as Dallas and Fort Worth will be getting some pretty major winds here. We're going to be seeing that very large storms off over here onto the left side of your screen, and then still kind of even in the top of your screen here, you could see kind of a little split as well down the middle here, where we're not seeing exactly anything too big. We're not seeing these storms kind of heading in the middle. They're kind of more on the outsides of each other, and this will eventually kind of change. They're going to kind of team up against over here Fort Worth and Dallas, so they're going to kind of combine, and that's kind of what we were seeing on the HRRR model. With that, I do want to go over here really quickly to Shreveport. You guys are getting ready to be under a possible severe thunderstorm warning. It seems like maybe the suburbs of Shreveport, you guys are under a severe thunderstorm warning for the next hour and a minute here. You can see very large storm right now. This isn't really necessarily associated with a severe weather threat, but continues to move off right now down to the southeast. That does include Marshall. You guys need to be paying attention to that, as it is a severe thunderstorm warning, but nothing major like these storms that are continuing on over here. Let's see. Destructive storm continues on in Jones, Texas, Taylor, Texas, Fisher, Texas, Nolan, Texas, Shackleford, Texas, and Collin, Texas. And this is obviously a very, very destructive storm. 80-mile-an-hour winds are continuing on right now. Albene, you guys are getting ready to get some pretty big storms here. They're starting to approach your doorstep here. Major winds are in this storm right over here, just to your north. Very slow-moving storm right now. So 90 to 80 mile an hour winds could be seen here in Albene right now here for the next little bit. And then we have a destructive severe thunderstorm warning right now here for Breckenridge, as we are starting to see you guys are under the regular severe thunderstorm warning, but we're starting to see the Breckenridge. You guys are now under a brand new PDS severe thunderstorm warning, as you guys will be having the worst part of the storm going through your area, and that could possibly reach 80-mile-an-hour winds, as what this is saying. Destructive storm. Not large hail with this storm. Golf ball sized hail here, 80-mile-an-hour destructive storm, but 90-mile-an-hour destructive storm as well here. So we're continuing to pay attention. Very, very large and destructive winds are going to be going through. Hurricane force winds will be making its way down here to the southeast, and we'll be putting a major threat right now for some of these areas. So I'm definitely I want to pull up something really quickly here by the National Weather Service of Fort Worth. National Weather Service of Fort Worth here did post something right here. Let's see if I can pull it up for you. So this is by the National Weather Service of Fort Worth. So Fort Worth National Weather Service, you can see put out something here. You can see right here 1, 2, 3 zones. So this is going to be a little bit of a different kind of look. This is kind of giving you a little bit more information. Severe winds highly will be likely in this dashed area here, as well as these this darker blue. Severe winds, that's obviously going to be 80 mile an hour possible, 80 mile an hour plus possible there. We're going to keep an eye on that. Now for zone 2, the little bit more lighter shaded blue here, Waco, Canton, you guys are going to be seeing this storm not as much. The severe winds are possible right now. That is that. And then for 3, severe winds are going to be possible. Oh, well, the severe winds are probable. So still some big questions on the board. I don't know exactly on what the winds will be. Right, as of that, we don't really know exactly what the winds are going to be when they start getting into Fort Worth and Dallas. Let's get back to these tornado warnings because we haven't looked at them in a little bit here. Let's take a look. Golf ball sized hail with the tornado warnings here. Colbert, this is just north of Denton here, but it does include the city of Durant here. Velocity signature showing maybe a little bit of rotation kind of sitting in this general area right here in the center of this tornado warning here. Maybe some of that tornado warning right there. That could be something to pay attention to. We have the Durant. Exactly right here in the middle, and then we have over here Caddo. You guys possibly have some rotation right over you guys right now, as well as a flash flood warning over here just south of Durant. We're gonna see some flash flood warnings probably going to be popping up here due to just the heavy amounts of rainfall and how fast these storms are. They're not moving very fast, so we're going to be seeing that very closely here. Let's head back down to this severe thunderstorm warning down here because this is one that we definitely want to pay attention to closely here. Very, very large storm off to the north here of Albine. Don't know exactly how to say it, but Albine, you can see very, very large storm continuing on right now. This is where a majority of those winds are going to continue. This is where a majority of those winds are going to be. We're going to see the storm currently going to be going off to the north here. And I think that's kind of why we have two separate severe thunderstorm warning zones here. We have this one, 70 mile an hour considerable threat, and then you have this one that's the 90 mile an hour, which is this specific line right here, 90 mile an hour winds. That's, over category 1 hurricane force winds, almost category 2 force winds. Freddie McKinney is now continuing on right now with the severe weather threat. He's watching this. He's watching these storms very closely. He is in Miracle, Texas, right now. So let's take a look at what he's looking at here. Looks like he's getting off of the interstate currently. I wonder if he's going to be turning here. He's probably going to be turning here. He's actually in the city. Right now, he is in the city. They are, making sure people need to be weather aware currently. Albine, you guys are right now getting ready. Oh, it looks like he's getting gas right now, but you guys need to be preparing right now for this specific storm. This is a very major storm that we could be looking at here in the Albine area of Texas. You guys need to be paying attention to this storm specifically here. There we go. Specifically going to be paying attention to this closely here. Let's go back down here to the city area right here for Albine. You can see currently majority of the good news is the majority of this major storm is off to the north, and that's why we have two separate divided severe thunderstorm warnings of destructive here up to the 90 mile an hour winds up to the more of the northern part. For Albine, though, still possibly 70 mile an hour winds with a considerable threat can be on your doorstep, and that's something we're going to keep an eye out on very, very closely here. You kind of can see kind of a little backwards hook here. I wonder if something's trying to form in there, but the main concern right now is these winds are going to be staying more to the north of Albine here, but you still cannot rule out at least some major winds still continuing on with that general area. But let's take a look at some power outages and see if we're getting some more reported power outages that we saw earlier on. We were seeing, we're definitely seeing a little bit more of the polygon starting. The county starting to move up here. Hardman County, you guys are at 55% possible people out of power. Now this is obviously just off of Radar Omega, so it isn't the absolute accurate, but we kind of can get a general idea that we are possibly seeing some major, some areas here that are having some power outages due to these high winds, and that's what we're going to be continuing to see over here for the next couple of hours, we're going to see these these winds start to continue to pick up, especially maybe down the Fort Worth, Dallas area. And we'll take a look here. Actually, let's pull up the future radar really quickly here to see and to prepare everyone to what we could be expecting. But I want to say that, yeah, we could be seeing some potential, big impacts here on, Fort Worth and Dallas region. Big impacts possibly on the table with that, and that's going to bring plenty of power outages, maybe some tree limbs down as well into the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area. But taking a look at this, so we have the actual new model run here. So this is the first time we're looking at it here. You can see this is around 11 p.m. Eastern time. So taking a look at 11 p.m. Eastern, this will be 10 p.m. Central time. So this is in the next hour here where we're going to start seeing these storms start to get closer here to the Dallas and Fort Worth region here, and then really around 12 a.m. Eastern time, 12 a.m. Central time, these storms will be really hammering down here on Dallas and Fort Worth around this. So this is an overnight storm. So if you are going to sleep, make sure you have a way to get weather notified and staying weather aware. That is the biggest thing that we need right now, is staying weather aware on some of these storms, because some of these storms are going to be very dangerous as we head into throughout tonight. Yeah, so if you do need any information, if you do live in the Fort Worth or Dallas region, go on to x.com or something, or you guys can look at the National Weather Service Fort Worth. They're putting out frequent updates right now. They're putting out frequent updates on this severe weather threat as of right now. They're putting in the frequent updates currently. But yeah, very major storm going to be continuing to move down here to the southeast. We're going to see this storm continue. And really just start to possibly get into the Albine area pretty soon here. But we're not expecting destructive 90-mile-an-hour winds probably for the Albine area. That's staying up more to the north. But we still are going to be seeing some pretty big winds heading through the Albine area. Yeah, definitely a lot of random power outages over here around the United States. Possibly could rise, though, in here, pretty soon. All right, let's take a look here at the severe weather threat, though. Let's see, we'll turn off this for right now. Let's see what we're kind of looking at here with the severe weather threat. So let's take a look right now. You can see majority of the severe thunderstorm warnings right now are obviously in the main area on where we're going to be seeing the worst of it, the moderate risk, right? But severe thunderstorm warnings also into the enhanced and slight risk here. The majority of the winds, though, will stay more in this general area, but you can see who is involved in this moderate risk. Dallas and Fort Worth will be really going to be possibly getting hammered here, pretty soon. But there you go. So they're in the moderate risk still. Let's bring up our main threat for tonight. Let's bring up the wind threat for tonight. Look at that. We're still seeing, we're seeing that, the severe thunderstorm warnings that have the major winds are obviously in this zone right here. The ones that are more off to the north aren't as major winds. But still, these are going to be continuing to move down here, and we possibly could be seeing a little bit more development of storms here kind of in the center. But that's going to bring it to Dallas and Fort Worth, as you guys are still into that zone where we could be seeing some major winds here. Once again, hurricane force winds could be seen here. A possible derecho. I mean, talked about it in the video yesterday that I put out. And all of that. I mean, I put it into the video just to see and give updates. Man, it has been a long day. Long day. So continuing to pay attention, obviously, to the severe weather threats. Currently, we're continuing to watch the severe weather threat. Breckenridge, you guys are still under that severe thunderstorm warning as of right now. We're continuing to watch that closely. Here, you guys are under that severe thunderstorm warning still. Destructive storm with the 80-mile-an-hour winds continuing on, and that will be heading through the Breckenridge here probably maybe in the next 30, 45 minutes. This storm is not moving insanely quick. But it has, it's expected to weaken just a little bit, but we'll see. It does look like it's just, containing its strength. It's just keeping its strength and really just continuing on. Very, very major storm still going to be continuing on, over here for the next couple of hours. So Breckenridge really needs to be paying attention to the severe weather, storms, the severe storms that are expected. Let's see what we can do here. Let's see, what can we do here? Let's see what the tornado warnings are looking like. Two of them expire in 1 minute. The northern one does not expire in 1 minute. This one will expire in 16 minutes. 15 minutes now here, but let's see, a lot of lightning going through the Caddo area here. You can see very, very big, systems going to be moving through. I would probably say the rotation possibly right over the Caddo region here. Probably just east here. I believe this is an interstate. Probably just east to whatever interstate this is here. Just right over Caddo, so probably, some rotation has been, or at least the radar indicated rotation, but we now have actually a brand new flash flood warning, just like we were talking about a little bit. We're going to see these flash flood warnings continue on. We're going to see these flash flood warnings start. We're going to see that, and we can see the flash flood warning now being issued here. This does include several areas here. We have Caddo, you guys are in it. Attica, Colgate, you guys are in it as well. Sulphur, you guys are in this flash flood warning, and we're getting this radar indicated here for the next 6 hours as we're continuing to see 1 to 2 inches of rain are continuing to fall right now. And we have a brand new tornado warning right now, once again, for the Durant area here. Just, reissued a tornado warning. So a brand new tornado warning has now just been issued here for South Durant. You guys are now back under a brand new tornado warning here. So tornado warning here for your area. Radar indicated this rotation. Once again, haven't had any report of a tornado. Probably some rotation maybe sitting right in this general area right over here, and this will continue to move off to the east as well. Not too quickly, but will be moving off to the east. So we're going to be continuing to watch that closely there. Let's see. So I will be continuing this live coverage probably here for a pretty good amount of time. Make sure I'm getting comfy and everything. But we have a brand new tornado warning here for Durant, southern Durant. You guys are now under a brand new tornado warning at this time. And if we head back over here to Albine, you guys can, we're paying attention to this storm. 70-mile-an-hour winds, considerable threat there for that, but then the 90-mile-an-hour winds are more up here. So Albany, you guys will be getting that 90-mile-an-hour winds possibly, and then Breckenridge, major winds could possibly be heading for your area as well, and it's all with this big storm system that is going to be continuing down to move to the southeast, and we're going to continue to watch that right now. And we're just going to be getting these updates coming in here for these severe thunderstorms, and we're going to watch it closely. Let's see, Breckenridge. Yeah, so Breckenridge right here, a town that's going to be paying attention to it. Yeah, look at all of this blue here on the velocity signature, and the velocity is paying attention to the winds and how fast these winds are moving and how dangerous the winds are moving. Continuing to move down to the southeast, obviously, will probably take maybe 30-45 minutes before it gets to Breckenridge here. But we're going to be seeing some major winds here. And let's actually measure some of these winds currently. The winds right now measuring 50, 70, 80 mile an hour in some of these areas, and you can even have these patches of 90 miles an hour here that we're just seeing. So 90 mile an hour winds in some of these areas, in these darker kind of bluish areas here, is that 90 mile an hour wind. So you can see right here in these little darker spots in those two circles, that's the 90 mile an hour, 80, 90 mile an hour winds. So obviously very big area though of just some major winds here of 70 plus. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that closely as that continues to move down here. So if you live in Breckenridge, you need to be inside and taking cover immediately, right now, immediately. All right, let's take a look right now here at the future radar once again. Let's see what we can look at here and kind of give us more of an outlook on what we're expecting here and when the time frame is. So right now here for Dallas Fort Worth, that's been our main city that we're paying attention to. We can see McKinney. You guys are expected to possibly get some pretty big storms here. Let's just see if we can zoom in a little bit. So Dallas, Fort Worth, very big area of, plenty of infrastructure and, just people and all of this right now. Denton, you guys will be getting some big storms here. McKinney as well around probably 11 p.m. Central Time. So in the next 2 hours, you guys will probably get some major winds and, really some pretty big hail possibly at some spots. And then this will continue, obviously, to just move down to the southeast. We're going to see that continue on. And this will continue to move down to the south. And this probably will stick around here for a couple of hours. So this will be an overnight storm here. So we can see this will be, 11 central, 12 central, 1 central, 2 central, 3. We're going to be seeing some of these storms really start to ramp up as we head in throughout the night here, especially for the Dallas and Fort Worth metro area. As of right now, looking very clear for you guys. Probably some clouds going to be starting to come up soon here into the suburban areas, but not seeing too much right now with that specific area of Dallas or Fort Worth. Not seeing too much with that. So once again, ping pong ball sized hail right now continues on with this storm, and this is going to be heading towards the Breckenridge area. See if I can get back into this. So we're actually might probably get an update here on the Breckenridge severe thunderstorm warning. We're going to be getting an update here pretty soon. Right now. So I think the winds are probably getting ready to maybe start arriving. So you're probably going to have the beginning winds start to arrive for Breckenridge. I would believe, majority of that winds, the strongest winds will be with the storm, but you can see this little kind of line here. That's going to be some pretty big wind gusts that will be possibly coming in before the storm even arrives here. And that usually is what happens with some of these line fronts that come down with some pretty big winds here. Albine, you guys right now, let's take a look at you guys, making sure, yep, so Albine right now, you guys are having storms off to your north, which is some pretty good news if you live there, in the Albine, city area. You guys are off to the north now. You guys are more off to the north here, and these storms will be continuing to move off to the east here, it seems, and you guys aren't having major wind as what you were expecting here, so something to keep an eye out on very, very closely here. We're going to, watch these storms continue on throughout the next couple of hours. Obviously, Fort Worth, Dallas, you guys are a big concern here for the next, hour here. You guys probably will be getting some pretty big, major winds here pretty soon. So I am going to be taking a small little break here, and I will be right back for you guys. So just make sure you stay tuned, and I'll keep you guys updated, and make sure just to keep watching, and if you have any questions, just make sure to leave it down in the chat below. I'll be right back, everyone. All right, well, welcome back, everyone. We're going to be paying attention right now. We have a observed tornado warning that has now just been issued right now back on Durant. We have an observed tornado warning right now, so let's get into this currently right now. Observed tornado warning right now. So let's see what we're looking at right now. Tornado warning right now here just south of Durant. We have a brand new tornado warning. This was updated here for an observed tornado. Not exactly a clear looking shot right there. Let's see if we can go maybe to another. Is another radar maybe picking up a little bit better on it? No, this doesn't seem. Maybe this one. Don't think so. Well, let's go back over here to this radar right now. But right now we currently have a major, we have a tornado right now actually on the ground here, very major. We have a observed tornado on the ground. So tornado right now on the ground here going south of Durant here. This storm will be continuing to move down to the southeast. Correlation coefficient, let's see if we can see some debris. Maybe something just south of Durant over here, kind of more right here. I think we might be seeing something maybe right over Southeastern Aviation Institute here. The regional airport, Durant Regional Airport here. I think we might be having, this is where that tornado warning will, that tornado is on the ground right now. I think the storm will be most likely rain wrapped here. We're going to be seeing the storm most likely rain wrapped, and we'll be continuing to move off to the southeast still once again. So major tornado warning right now has been observed just south of Durant. So make sure if you know anyone in Durant, make sure you are letting them know to take cover immediately here. Sherman, you guys are getting some severe thunderstorm warnings, not any major winds as of right now. These winds, let's go over here to Breckenridge. 80-mile-an-hour winds right now. New severe thunderstorm warning for them. We're getting a bunch of updates to some, several of these severe thunderstorm warnings. Starting to get a lot of these updates here coming in right now on several severe thunderstorm warnings. We have an update here on the Albine one right here. 70-mile-an-hour and considerable threat. But then we'll be continuing on down over here with that destructive storm still, the destructive storm threat there. And same with this, 80 mile an hour, so it's not as strong. This is the 90 mile an hour one. This one's heading into the possible Breckenridge area right now. So let's keep an eye on this storm very, very closely here. Let's get back into it. This is some very strong winds kind of sitting and embedded in this storm that will be heading through the Breckenridge area over here pretty soon. We're going to be seeing some of that. You can see this big line right here. That's some winds going to be coming before the storm, so that's something that we want to keep an eye on. So that's right now, if you live in the Breckenridge area, this line right here is starting to arrive in your area. That is going to be bringing some gusty winds even though the storm has not arrived in your area. So please be making sure you are inside and you are taking cover immediately. Treat a severe thunderstorm warning like a tornado warning right now. Treat the severe thunderstorm warning as a tornado warning, as the winds are just very, very dangerous right now that we're looking at currently. So let's keep an eye on some of these storms as of right now. We're going to keep an eye. We're going to watch these storms obviously as we go on throughout the next couple of hours. Dallas-Fort Worth is our another concern that we're going to be keeping an eye on very, very closely here. We're still watching this observed tornado warning here. Let's get back to that just to see what we're looking at here. Velocity signature not showing exactly like a clear, sometimes the radar does that. It's not like a clear thing. The correlation coefficient though is a little bit more here. We could see possibly something right, maybe there. So we're going to keep an eye out on that tornado warning there. Here we have a severe thunderstorm warning here for looks like Gainesville area here. Sherman once again still severe thunderstorm warning for this general area here, as this line of thunderstorms is going to be continuing down to move south here. The velocity signature very, very you can see some lighter greens. That's a little bit more of a stronger storm here. Hasn't gotten into any major blues, but some greens definitely will be in there. So some, pretty big winds are going to be starting here, and we could see that we're, watching these lines of thunderstorms getting closer and closer down here to the Dallas and Fort Worth metro area. Yeah, let's go back to Breckenridge here, because this is a major wind threat right here for Breckenridge. Been talking about Breckenridge a lot in this stream, because we know right now they're getting ready to have the worst storm as of right now. They're getting ready to have the worst storm currently. So let's see kind of what we're looking at here. Remember, if you guys have any questions or anything about, a city of yours or anything like that, just leave it down in the chat and I will get to it. But we want to keep you definitely updated here on Breckenridge and, all of this area, Albine, and not under a severe thunderstorm warning. And that's some pretty good news, as the majority of the storms kind of stayed off to the north here of the main city. Are we expecting that possibly to do the same thing? Are we expecting that to happen for Dallas-Fort Worth? Unfortunately not. We're going to be seeing some, possibly some storms going to be going through the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's pretty much guaranteed from the National Weather Service of Fort Worth. I mean, we're going to be seeing these storms, and we can already kind of see up to the north here. Denton, you guys are under a severe thunderstorm warning. Probably the next severe thunderstorm warning could possibly, be issued for parts of the city. Hail hasn't been too much of an issue, I would say. It's been more of the wind threat that we've been really paying attention to very, very closely. I think that's something that we're really paying attention to and really watching is that. We got flash flood warning that's over here continuing. We're going to be seeing these flash flood warnings. We've already, we've talked about that as well. With the flash flood warnings, they're going to be continuing on. Breckenridge, you guys are paying attention to this very, very closely as well. Can't exactly see with this. I think we're on the wrong radar. Yeah, we are. There we go. There we go. We fixed it now. Velocity signature, very, very, these light blue areas right here, this light blue area, that is some major winds that we could possibly be seeing at some pretty major levels here. Very, very major levels that we'll be seeing with these storms moving down to the southeast. Very, very big. This will be heading for the Breckenridge area here. That specific tornado warning as of right now. I think this storm might be pretty rain-wrapped, honestly. Might have a rain-wrapped tornado right now, currently continuing on with this tornado warned storm here that was going to be continuing to move off to the east. We're going to keep an eye out, obviously, on that right now as it's south of Durant, so we're keeping an eye on that. McKinney, Dallas, Fort Worth, you guys need to be keeping an eye out pretty soon here, because we possibly could be seeing a possible severe thunderstorm warning here pretty soon. So severe thunderstorm warnings probably will most likely be issued around, probably in the next 30-45 minutes, I would say we'll probably have a, some severe thunderstorm warnings possibly being issued here for the northern Fort Worth and northern Dallas metro area. Head back over here to Breckenridge. See, yeah, you can definitely see storms moving into Breckenridge. So, Breckenridge is, obviously not like a major city, but it's a town where, there's still, some pretty, there's some stuff going on right now. Right now, the storm, you could see just like what we were talking about shortly, not too long ago. This little line here was big wind front that came in before the storm, and now they are going to be having the storm where the major of the winds are there in Breckenridge, and that's 80-mile-an-hour winds have been reported with that specific storm there. But we're not, we haven't seen anything over 100-mile-an-hour winds with these severe thunderstorm warning, which is good news. Haven't seen anything major like that. We haven't seen any, severe thunderstorm warnings with a major of 100-mile-an-hour winds, which is some good news. This tornado warning expires 24 minutes. Just got an update on it. Now radar indicated was not on the ground for long. It didn't, I don't even think we were able to probably see it as much. I think it's more rain wrapped here on this. But yeah, no clear exactly sign of, a clear velocity signature as well. And, sometimes I know the radar will do that. So yeah, major storms continuing to move off over here on this part, and then you have these storms down here. Our major storm right now with the major winds is over here, obviously going through the Breckenridge area. We're going to be seeing that very closely, and we're just going to be seeing this destructive storm going to be heading through the area. All right. Well, I hope I'm going to, if there's anything else major going on, I will head back on to live stream a little bit later. But thank you so much for for tuning in, guys. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you guys like the weather content. Make sure to watch the video updates as well. Make sure to watch my video updates as well to keep up on the weather updates, especially as the tropics just started. But thank you guys so much. Make sure to follow my X page down. It will be in my it'll be in the bio, as well as joining the new Discord. And if you like talking about weather and all that, it'd be perfect. But thank you guys so much for tuning into the stream. And I make sure I will be posting on my X page down below. So I will be posting, especially when these storms make it to Fort Worth, Dallas. And if anything happens, I will hop back on the stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I hope you guys all have a great rest of your night. Stay safe out there, and bye-bye.